Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo, yo. What up, Lita? What up, Rolando? What's up, everybody out there in cyberspace? What it do, world? What's up, y'all? This your boy, Crypto Bruh, aka More World Peace to DJ / producer, coming back again off some Spaces energy right now. So I was like, I wasn't gonna stream, but fuck it, we streaming. Because I'm feeling it, but I haven't been streaming because I've been working. Long story short, I gotta make my own everything. I gotta get in full control mode. That's the game. So today is April 4th. Shout outs to my 4 viewers on the 4th month and the 4th day. I think that's like an angel number, right? People like that. Yo, 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 what's up, Yosef? Welcome in. What you thinking about the ETH or the Ethereum game? I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's talk about that. I have posted it on my account. Shout out to Yosef. He's in here too. He's the one that actually brought it up. But I've known about this for a while. So what Rolando was talking about real quick, I'll turn on this music some more, is ETH game. So TLDR is that the ETH spam contract is secretly minting XEN and using trading fees for over 186,000 VMUs. All right, have been created in 195 ETH drained without users' consent. So far, 458 billion. This is my first time really reading this. 458 billion XEN minted, 229 billion XEN dumped, off profit, no cost, very shady. So, yeah, like, I mean, this is what's gonna happen. The way I feel about like things like this is or permissionless. Okay. Like, this is what happens in permissionless environments. You have this virus called the evil twin. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, like, there's always going to be people who want to game the system because it's available, right? Like, that's why it's important to find systems that prevent vulnerabilities. That way, you know, you don't have to forfeit your time because the system is allowing vulnerabilities. Now, the thing about it is this is not a vulnerability for XEN. This is a social engineered issue where you got to get to the human being to get them to know this. And that's why it's good that we're sharing the information about it and people are becoming aware about it. Because, yeah, like, if you got this coin in your wallet and you're still someone in this future, right? It's 2025. Like, it should be known by now. If you're not expecting mail, what the fuck is in the mailbox? Right? That's what I'm on. Like, I don't expect mail. What the hell is in my mailbox? When I get some mail in the mailbox, I'm like, what is in there? For real? Like, what do they want from me? Who's this? Who sends mail, right? So that's the same thing for tokens that are just in your wallet. Airdrop season, that's a 2020 pastime. I'm done with that. We're all done with that. So you shouldn't use that as a reason to your stupidity. You really should just get the information now. Note it. Hey, man, there's scams out there that include airdrop coins. And that's essentially what they did. So this is been airdropped to people. So it's been given to them. But as soon as they go to interact with it on a DEX and they go to transfer it, they essentially enable a different call function with that coin where it uses the gas you use to pay to transfer the coin. Instead, it sends that to the XEN contract and it creates XEN. So it's a very intuitive way of siphoning Ethereum from people, because you would never think, you know, like, oh, me making a transaction would actually be a vulnerability. But like, that is just what it is when you deal with things you don't know what it is, right? These are honeypot. I mean, this is very common in like the Binance chain. So that's why I'm like, oh, I can kind of assume where this is coming from, because this is to fall for this one is to be really far away from the root cause of crypto's beginnings in general, right? Like, we're all here for self-sovereignty and digital ownership. That's why Satoshi made Bitcoin. Ownership. So if you don't own something, you don't own it. Stop thinking you own it, right? Realize the gains, but not on this thing. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. On this thing, just stay away from it. It's very intuitive. Let's build it actually into a DeFi app. Can we get some, like the title says today is focused on building. I think this is the problem in the Zen world. I've been building all week. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking at my little GitHub now, my bruh GitHub. I'm seeing my contributions. I haven't been on GitHub though for a minute, because now I've been on, I've moved on from deving just on GitHub. And again, on this channel, I usually talk about like fucking crypto. Like that's what the direction has always been, or whatever. I don't know what the hell we're talking about, but it's always been like, I guess like I take this information from my past time and I apply it to the future. And then like Zen steps into the picture, and then I decide to take YouTube serious because it's so fascinating. A collaborative collection of minds does make it even more fascinating. So you can almost think of like the YouTube as like an experience, but it's also grounded like an amazing group of people here. And it's a learning tool, right? Like, hey, there's these things happening in the community. Did you see the Crypto Bro stream? He talked about it. Protect yourself, right? But I've never really been focused on like price performance, because that's just not my niche. My niche has always been in the development side of the crypto world. I just never have I just never could understand. Some of it I think is like having time, right? Time is at an essence, it's the most important asset in the world. So having time to learn the coding side of crypto without the coding side of crypto, you know, I would say that most people understand crypto actually from the coding side. They just don't see it as that. Like they've learned it over the last 2 years. They just don't see it yet. Maybe they've been here for 10 years and they just don't understand, like, hey, you speak a different language. Like you're damn near bilingual because you can talk Bitcoin, you can talk Ethereum. And then there's a language behind that barrier, right? Like you could talk about Bitcoin infrastructure, Bitcoin integration, right? Ethereum infrastructure and Ethereum integration. Like the packages just keep expanding. And again, that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to see it now that I'm deving more with Zen, because I have time to do it. Like I didn't really have much time to like dev. I keep coming and going, but like this time around, I actually have time to really put my thinking hat on. And CB Zen is great, still doing really well. In the terrible time, some people looking at crypto right now like it's terrible, but it's actually doing pretty well compared to. Do I have the dicks on this? Any dicks on here? Yeah. I mean, the dicks, see the dollar is like looking pretty terrible, but it looks like it wants to pump. But I think it's gonna dump, and this is like my whole thing. I really think this is the part where Bitcoin shines. Like we need a moment of separation. What's up, Shorty 10? Hey, they got the white hourglass. That's a newie. Shout outs to you. It will upgrade. What's Yosef saying real quick? Well, what up, Damien? You're hella R's. I don't think this contract is really an issue because MTC Minter and also XenTurbo also collect a fee. They just don't use them on the contract level to mint Zen and then dump it on Zenians. I'm gonna find out how many Zen mints the EFG actually didn't claim on in time, and we'll see. In any case, people basically donated $6,000 of Ethereum of this Ethereum game contract just so that they can mint Zen for themselves. And I mean, yeah, that's why, this is hilarious because we could apply this to actual DeFi. This is how valuable the Zen is. It's so public and it's under the radar. It's literally it's like a river or a stream in the crypto space. No one really knows about it yet, and there's just a few of us that are on the stream, like I got fresh water, bitch. And then like, watch, man, there's gonna be a ton of people that show up, and we're gonna be like, all right, I gotta like build a moat off this stream to my own factory because there's too many people on the bank. I need my own bank, right? So yeah, this is, I think, more of awareness than it is a stunting the growth. We're doing really good. Bitcoin, I think, is still doing really good. This is the daily. You would think because how many people are leveraged in actual money that like crypto's over, but that's like the problem with TradFi. Dumb fools ain't in, actually. Like, they're still out. Like, all those bros are trying to get in, but they've been waiting for ETFs. They never really bought physical coins. And that's why I don't think this is affected too much by what's happening in the stock market with tariffs. Because again, Bitcoin's a world currency, or a global asset. It speaks many languages. It makes many languages singular. It's such a weird product. But again, it's a product of the internet, and that's what the internet is. The internet is everything. It is what it is. We live in this time. The internet is everything. If you don't believe it, you're still living in a foreign time frame. You're not on the present time. Okay. The internet is everything. So Bitcoin is everything. It's more valuable than the stock market. So that's why I don't believe in the hype. I see this setup right now where the only way they're nuking Bitcoin is if someone gets out of their position. But we also have really good narrative in Bitcoin with the OGs taking the centralized concepts and applying the decentralized Satoshi's vision in the centralized spaces, right? Like, I'm going to put my Bitcoins in Fidelity, or I'm going to put my Bitcoins in JP Morgan, or I'm going to put my Bitcoins in motherfucking BlackRock. Like, I don't know where you put your fucking Bitcoins, but that is the notion as well. So it's kind of hard to think BlackRock is going to sell people's Bitcoins to push the price down. It almost acts as like a stabilizing floor because users are investing with their platforms. The game wants to get into BlackRock. Now that BlackRock got all the Bitcoins, I don't think they're going to fucking sell them all because it would be weird. It would just, it's more likely they get hacked, which is unlikely. Unless they really do. And then we got a whole other can of worms. And that's why, again, I'm not even playing that game. Fuck Bitcoin. I've already been saying that. But we know that is what's holding it up, keeping it positive, keeping it integrated. It's got framework. It's got infrastructure. Beautiful, right? Ethereum is the one where I'm just LOLing because ETH, again, it's holding us back. I've been saying this for weeks now. ETH is holding back everybody. It's also holding back the developer mindset. With this evolution of AI, you can create really fast because it's like owning a time machine. If you can prompt it right, you can speed up your time, because your time, again, is the most important asset on planet Earth. So if you can compile an idea in 15 seconds and get a whole project that's up and running in 15 seconds, like maybe you got to trial and error 100 times so that it's 15 seconds. You and the computer are both compiling the website in 15 seconds. You just sped up your whole educational process. You just went from someone who took 4 weeks to learn something to someone who takes 15 seconds to learn it. Because you can, again, over the course of errors, you're going to learn the processes. That's the fucking craziest part about AI and coding. And I do think we'll get to a world where there won't be a lot of coding because we're talking about build. But we're really far away from that world because there's still a lot of undefined design. Like maybe technology and fashion, they fuse where people didn't believe. Like people still trying to fuse like fashion and tech, but I actually think it's UX. Like UX is where we're getting like really sexy with like the user, like how a user's eyes wear the website. Like don't steal my shit, but like yeah, that's like where we are with it. So like that's why again it's important to have really good defined systems. Zen is so complex because it's so well defined. There's so many ways for you to go. That's hard for a simple motherfucker, you're a simple motherfucker, bro, you're fucked. Sorry. Wow. Today is 1 year and 22 days on base. 22. Order over chaos right there, baby. Yeah. Yes, sir. Hey, GM says Tree City West. What's up, dog? What it do? If you're long like me, dips are great. Whoa. Pause. I've been working on my squats, so, my dips are great right now. But, whoa. Pause. Brolando. I see Rolando. Yeah, Rolando be working with the UI or with the AI. And this is where I'm at with it. We have 100 years, guys. So if you're not in your 60s, and even then, you still got 40 years, bitch. Get to work. Just get to work. But like, yeah, like if you're steady, this is where I'm at with it. There's an angle here where we're gonna see a rapid speed of a lot of people understanding together, because that's how the herd works. Now the thing is the gap in AI is really big, but it's not really big. It's actually just based on who can create like the most educated systems. But again, the problem that everyone's like running into is defining even what the fuck the system is. Like, what is the system that we're trying to define? Oh, we're gonna make a hippo, or what do I usually say? Yeah, we're gonna turn giraffes into blinged out giraffes, right? Like, that's like everybody's fucking play. They're not doing it. They're not defining anything. You're just turning something into something. Like, to define is to make, in my personal opinion, frame. Right? Like, oh, frame it for me. Define what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what is happening here? Who cares about how complex it is? There's a G rank, an active rank, a stake, blah, 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 But all of this, again, this definition is what creates the agent. So, like, Zen is, like, in itself, it is an AI agent inside of the internet, just as much as Bitcoin. But the difference is our parameters are entry level, where people can program for them. They don't have to go and take somebody else's engine, a Fidelity engine, a JP Morgan engine to, work with the Bitcoin. We haven't gotten there yet because, again, I don't think, these are products. So many people will come out with many products. Many products will be very relatable. So like one of the crazy things about this theory here is like, when you look at CBZen, again, I like it because I think it's the most open sourced Zen as well. ETH Zen is cool, but it's gated by Ethereum, which has its own notion, which nobody can understand because you need to be running an ETH node. So if you are like in Ethereum, yeah, get in Zen on ETH, because what the fuck, it's a no-brainer. It's way better technology. But the closer you are to the node, the better your Zen experience will be. The further you're away from the node, the more expensive it's going to be for you to interact with Zen. And that's why layer 2s in Zen world are attractable, because the user is with the network for some reason, whether it's affiliation by buying the actual token, or it's affiliation because they run infrastructure, right? That's like EVMOS. EVMOS integrated themselves into Zen because a lot of the developer set wanted to see it. Same with Moonbeam. So out of those two that requested it from the nodes level, only one survived, while the other one got beat the fuck up by the nodes because they were really trying to test out EVMOS. And that's why I think they shut down. They're shutting EVMOS down next month. And this is about business. It has nothing to do with crypto. Fucking ideology. Bitch, this shit is expensive. So they shutting it down. And Moonbeam is just different. They adjusted the parameters of their stack essentially so that people could use Zen. Like, they really use it as like a stress test to see how to adjust the stack. So again, Zen is this weird thing living like in the EVM world. And it has all these cuckoo for Cocoa Puff parameters to stress test different areas of the virtual machine. Right? It's just how you apply the Zen and how close you get. All right, that's why I get CB Zen is an awkward turtle, because for some reason right now, Base is essentially allowing everybody to do anything they want to do. All right, I showed this on my previous stream, but just to get everyone caught up, because I haven't streamed in a couple of days. I like layer 2s because they're empty EVMs. Empty EVMs means that like there are new gardens with like stamps from the foundation. It's safe to bring your ETH over here and play around in this centralized garden because either they're getting funding or something. So we already know which ones these are, right? They're the ones that get the most attention, and you have to actually concentrate that. So like in development as well, you don't want to have 100 different options. It's going to always be better to summarize it down to like 10, right? If you have 100, make it 10. Shit, if you have 10, make it 1, really. But like for the benefit of the doubt, we'll do 10, right? Always a top 10. So I'm digging what I'm seeing on the dunes. This right here is I'll put it in the chat. If you're on YouTube, make sure you come over to, or I mean, if you're on Twitter, X, come over to YouTube. That's where I read the chat and whatnot. But hit the like button if you're over there. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Crypto, bro. But again, Base. So Base is clearly doing something weird. And I think I kind of got their strategy figured out. But this is just me just gassing it up. And I can understand their strategy because I'm on their chain, right? Because of Zen, I'm frequently watching Base Chain, right? That's what happens when you become a factory developer, the Zen world. When you want to use the Zen to create factories, different ideas, man. You have to understand the native coin. Again, the Zen works best the closest it can get to the chain. And as it gets further away in resistance, that's a good indication that systems are going to adjust, right? That's like the first flag. So Base is crazy because it's starting at 0. Low gas, no fucking people on it, a whole bunch of money, right? Like every other chain that had this scenario that we see in the Zen world, they failed because they didn't have the funding. So that's the one fun thing about CZen and about OPZen is that we know they have the funding. We know that they're in the Ethereum L2 cabal, if you want to call it that. So they're pretty safe dream chains, in my opinion. You can go over there. You can think long term with what we have. You don't have to think what the status quo is thinking because they're still on Ethereum time. Right? They haven't actually tapped in yet to understand how huge the whole network is going to be in value and how much value the network will attract on a chain such as Base. I mean, it's already doing that. The flag is already there. Like, look at this. I mean, there's multiple flags that are pretty funny right now. Like the one that I like that no one's seeing is how the staking class is so undecided. I'm just peeping this right now. We have, and then we're not undecided, but like everybody's staking on a weekday, or they're using like okay. So there's some people over here that are bringing over these Ethereum PTSD mannerisms because they're just not catching on yet, and they're part of the data. So they're landing on the weekends, and it makes no sense to me. I'm like, yo, the gas is cheap as fuck over here. So people still still don't understand like gas is cheap. I can do whatever I want. Right? We haven't gotten that player back yet. So we're waiting for them to show up, which means there's a lot of time. And I think we have it because like again, we have time. That's why I posted this thing. Or is it I was like XEN and Q3. It's like lower, right? I don't really care about this in price. But this is me now thinking like, okay, the runway is getting really, really short. And whatever is going to happen when X1 comes out, it's kind of like you got to be, I don't know what's the reference, but there's like this reference where you need to freeze. What's that game where you got like freeze up before it's like the mannequin challenge or whatever? I don't know. But like, yeah, wherever you are when X1 launches, that's where you're frozen in time. And you can expand and go further with the future. But if you don't freeze the old you and kind of transform into this mega version of your crypto self, like you're not going to understand a lot of things that are coming out. like why the conventions are happening, why there's still business thriving, why, you know, why is this happening? Why? Like there's gonna be reasons for it. It's not gonna be like Bitcoin where the whys fizzled out. This shit is gonna probably keep evolving, and everybody in the very beginning, you know, shout outs to you for being here and keeping hold. But yeah, people are gonna be coming for your Zen coins, right? So again, right now nobody's thinking about it. Everybody's on some other shit. And what we have going on is this crazy influx of minting on CBZen. Now 2 million is a normal. We know why. Some people they got the code. Some people got the word. Hey, we could do 500 now. So you're seeing that as well on CBZen. You're seeing everyone discover. Like I was saying, it's so fair. Once one person knows, everyone knows, and it's so complex that not everyone will venture into the territory of the unknown. So that will always be an advantage, right? That's the ETH game guy. They lurked off path, found an advantage, installed it in, and now it is what it is, you know? So like, that's what's always constantly going to be going on. And when everybody clicks, it'll be a phenomenon, euphoric area, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But it looks like people like it. I think people are liking the minting experience on Base, which means that we're building an economy. That's what's happening. CBZen is going to need apps on Base for people to spend, aka burn, their CBZen. This is why, like, I'm not trying to shill it, because I have no intentions to bring you into a garden, you know, that I think is out of control. I have my little position in it, right? And I don't feel like moving, because I actually think that this is what, like, we might have a little sweet magic here for a second if we can maintain it, right? The maintaining of the ecosystem or the economy is to really keep it free market, but start introducing like burning apps and underneath the development array of a CBZen coin, because it shares the same code or DNA as the Ethereum one, right? So if maybe there is activity on Base, the ETH devs might come over, and then if you're integrating a lot of perception or building on top of partnership, right? Like building with Base, like it's CBZen, it's Fair Crypto Foundation, X1 Foundation, and Base, Coinbase, right? It's like, what the fuck? You know, you put your thing on top and it's just like, okay, cool, I got my stack, right? So yeah, there's a lot of growth opportunity as a developer because of how fluid the chain is working. And then whatever, if you want to move over to X1 chain after the fact, you totally can, you know, or if you see the value of staying in the Ethereum layer 2, because you're like, hey, the growth over here it's got more upside in the short time than X1 chain, which might take another 15 years to fill the pull up. We don't know, right? I'm sure they're trying to redline it from the gate. Crypto's in shambles, so Ethereum is on the last leg, but it has so much infrastructure built for it. Like, until you experience another chain, but again, using Base chain is pretty damn close to using Solana or using Sui, you know, or using Aptos. Base is like right there. The thing about Base though is it is following that linear feeling, so it does get clogged if you hit it too hard. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how long it takes crypto to get out of that. That might be what keeps all this shit around, is people like that shit, and they'll justify it. Right? I mean, we're going through the craziest thing with the whole like pulse chain thing. Like, that's all, to me, that's more of a weird human behavior observation than anything else. It's like, yo, like, you can't talk anybody into Zen, but I could talk them into getting scammed. Right? It's the weirdest case study. You know, it's like, I wish I had just a little bit more education in psychology to write a book about what I'm seeing. I hope a psychologist is in the space and actually comes out with like the hexagon delusion or some shit. Because it's so weird and fascinating though. Shows the strength of the community notion and whatnot. But again, it makes me question, what is it about the nature of Zen being so fair that makes classic developers so scared? Like, who installed that into this classic dev where they fear innovation? Because that's the same thing that Steve Jobs did, right? That's all he did. He just took the iPod and made it a phone, which was the obvious next upgrade in the iPod. With bro, put a cell phone in it. But that's what the race was in general. That if you were in the race and now you knew what it was, right? And some people they don't even donate. They don't even give it to Steve for creating the iPhone. They still give it to the developer, because what Steve Jobs did was open up a new set of apps that other phones weren't doing, because their developers were just following the release pack, the status quo, the BlackBerry pack, you know? And then Steve is just like, yo, we're going to change the way that people work in the app. We're going to change that. That's literally all the vision, in my personal opinion, was to give us the iPhone, making sure people stay in the phone and they don't need to leave the ecosystem. To leave the ecosystem or to download a package is to distract them from the mission, to get them away from the goal. That's why you had a line, or you still had a product line. I'm a big Apple fan. I fucking hate Apple right now. I feel like their product line is garbage, which has opened up this new world to look at other things, you know? So to relate that to our tech, we're in technology too. We have products. CBZen is a product. People don't see it like that yet. Early developers will get most of the mind share of creating the product out of CBZen. The question I arise whenever we get to have a town hall realistically of what Zen really is, it's like, what does this mean for developers in the CBZen realm? Because it only makes most sense to dev CBZen if X1 Foundation is saying that Zen is their token, right? Or Zen is something to them. So then they can pay a motherfucker. Because like it's not, you're not going to see innovation because this isn't very innovative. Everybody has made coins that you can program into an app, right? Not everyone has built a community you can program with the coin into the app. Now that's different. That's what everyone's trying to do. So again, him building the blockchain and having these other products that I'm assuming they are, kind of says that they are always together, which builds the notion of like, hey, if I'm building a rail to X1, doesn't that mean I'm working with you guys too? So then it helps, if you get what I'm trying to get at, it helps the structure of development. We have an issue right now too. Like now that I'm deving, like I've been off and on, but I've been head in the books for the last 3 days. And something that I'm noticing that is missing just from me getting caught up, right? Like that's not where I'm at with it. The new world is that this 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's probably it. Those 5 years are the most important right now, because those are the developers of the next 10 years. And they're going to understand all the prerequisites that they're going to need to build. And new prerequisites will be invented from their problems of building something that we already have. That's why all the websites look the same, right? Everything looks the same on purpose because we don't have any innovation in product. And it's okay, because it sometimes it shows up, but it's also like a good standard, you know, like a minimalist life. Like, bitch, I just wear Nike, or was it I just wear Adidas tracksuits? Minimalist life. That's how I think of it. I just wear white Air Forces. So we do kind of need framework so that people can be relaxed, wear Nike Air Forces all white. But the growth, again, to that end user, I think, is the experience that is missing in crypto. That culture, you know, that flexibility, right? That real product brand image that everybody wants. Like even Solana fragmented themselves and now they're going to become a phone company. like, okay, like that's not crypto branded though. That's not blockchain branded. That's the next Verizon, which is fine. That's what I was thinking. I was like, yo, Solana is going to be like AT&T when X1 comes out. X1 will be the new Verizon. But right now, Solana is like the Verizon. Ethereum is the AT&T. They're only popping because they got the iPhone. We've got the iPhone. Everybody wants that fiber, though. XRP, not even in this conversation. And then this is Chinese cell phone. What's that one? I don't know. But yeah, that's like my logic on all this shit right now. And why, again, it's really important to find a Zen coin that makes sense to you, because the other reason I'm rooting for CBZen is because I don't want to be on a chain where I'm so close to the network that it fail. And then I see it's a failure. Like that, like Avalanche would be really cool to get close to, but they compete too much with X1. So I can't really go over there because that's a competition. Right? Same with like Moonbeam and Polygon. Theoretically, those are competition chains because they do everything that X1 does, but in EVM. What Base is doing differently and has EVM is connection to Coinbase, and that's exposure to 108 million signups. So they're actually in position more to introduce crypto to the masses than Zen is. That's why I'm like, oh, Zen is like the development coin. If you go way, way back into Bitcoin's history, you could go and search this shit. Maybe we can see if it, let's see if it's searchable. Bitcoin is a develop. So like, let's see if this is a thing. Okay, cool, it is. So yeah. This is a web Bitcoin for developers. Well, no, wait, this isn't really where it's at. Well, maybe it's just something I heard through the grapevine and it still resonates with me. But in the beginning, when Bitcoin first was out, and nobody really knew like how to make it or give it definition, because that's what I keep saying. Like, if you're hanging on to the Crypto Bread channel, the only reason Bitcoin makes sense is because they know what to hang on to, and their bottom line is it's a free market coin, right? And the bottom line of the free market is the SHA-256. Anybody can mine it. It's accessible. So since you can get it, you can put a price on it. And if somebody else wants to put a price on it, they can put a price on it, right? And that's how they keep going up. Every time we get to a decision in Bitcoin, is who wants to put a price on it. We're hella far away from the SHA-256, but that was the initial thing to get it out, to give it a bottom line of why you wanted to get into Bitcoin. So when it was in that bottom line of like, it's SHA-256, you own it, nobody else can get it, there's 21 million, it's gonna happen, all that shit in Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin was for the developer, because now the dev can make websites and take Bitcoin. So if you needed a website made, you could mine Bitcoin and join the economy and have cool ideas, and then tell like a sick ass developer, I'll give you some Bitcoins. And they're like, fuck yeah, I know how to handle that shit. Right? And then that's when it gets out of hand, because those people buy, sell, and trade so often that they are an unregulated market maker, essentially. Right? That's why we love regulated market makers, because they don't fuck you. They make money with you. Right? That's why I keep saying you're never going to see this again in Bitcoin. This was the unregulated market makers, where you had people with just good math doing what they could do, and they brought Bitcoin literally from nothing to something, hanging on this ideology that it's SHA-256, add a zero to a string, bitch. Add a zero to a string. How in the hell did anybody believe this shit? But it's all we had in 2008, so it's very believable. Right? So again, we have a more complex journey to recreate Bitcoin. It's not just like making it from the root. It's really creating a product that's better than Bitcoin with Satoshi's vision integrated. And the product is there. Ethereum couldn't do it because they also had to do Vitalik's vision, right? And Vitalik's vision is not the future. Vitalik doesn't even think the blockchain trilemma is possible, or Vitalik is the problem. I'm with the people from Bitcoin Classic, but what Vitalik does introduce, that's not the problem. That's actually like, again, it's a better collaboration with a Zen coin to take the pressure off of ETH. But like the standards, like the way you program a token to do what you want it to do, and then making it a standard is really, really, really important. Because then that makes it so we move forward. Too many freestyle standards and frames, that keeps people in limbo, and then that also does the gap. That's like AI right now. We're getting a gap because there's no real standard to what an AI is or what GPT can be, right? So, we're not pushing the limits. We're just throwing bullshit out there like AI, take a photo of your living room and use these products in it. We'll use AI to airdrop them into your photo. And then some coder is literally spending 2 months making that bullshit just to make like 100K, which is good because they're getting paid, but it's dead weight. Like that coder could be working on X1 infrastructure. They could be working on Bitcoin. They could be working on Ethereum, right? But they're trapped in this like stupid development world where they have to make money over here. So that, again, I think that's another thing that we have a problem with outside of just the market isn't going up. There's no thunder to want to be in it because everybody knows its downside. If there could be some fundraising, which is kind of why I'm on the side of this, if there is some fundraising and the right money is invested in the right devs right now, we could see the biggest renaissance of crypto ever. But it has to be the right teams, and that's what we're seeing go down, in my personal opinion. Why, again, X1 is a really good place to be because they already programmed the XEN. So you can't really cheat. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to level up your mindset. So like some people are going to be like still on this notion that like Zen is going to dump. Things are going to dump and it's not going to redline. But when you have enough cosigns, no one's waiting around and they're going to make those people like bite it. And again, we might be ushering in a different era in crypto where it doesn't, like we see, like Zen is seeing this. X1 is seeing this. Sui is seeing this. Aptos is seeing this. Solana is seeing this, right? Like everybody's going to be seeing some sort of influx of capital. I think, again, it's about trapping the users and making sure you build a product that people go back and use. And again, that's where I'm at with X1 chain. I think they've developed a very good product to keep users moving, to really build a network so that we have constant activity and there isn't any downtime, which allows people to build depend on top of the constant activity, similar to Solana. Because that's what's cool about Solana. It actually gives you a reason to build a node. It gives you a reason to go and make an LLC and become a node operator. Like that's something we don't have in crypto. Everything's always bedroom operation. But like if you run X1 chain, go type this shit into Google or into your GPT. I've already done this. This is why I'm like I'm really focused on building, because yeah, there's so much to be made and there's so little time. And this is really real. Like they're getting the right legal structure to be able to provide basically funds for people to dream. And I think where they've started, like the origin story of Fair Crypto is fucking nuts. There's no other origin story like that in crypto right now. And they're just going to keep saying it over and over and over and over again. ZTE. Oh, yeah. What's up, Dank? Yeah, no, the ZTE. That's the China. That's BNB. Lols. Oh, what up, Lou? What up, Breaking Free? you're still around, just now seeing it. What's up, T-Law Fitness? I've been telling the Hexicans the last few days, the simplicity and the lack of the drama is why they need to be minting Zen. Yeah, no, like, I mean, it's going to be hard, like, to get people to get into it. Fuel the network, reap the rewards. Lols. That's such a Zensu fucking saying right there. 310 nodes now on X1 chain. That's what I'm saying. Well, or I keep saying that's what I'm saying, but Zen is a charity coin. This thing is gonna redline bottleneck, and it's gonna have a trading pattern at an all-time high, and in a life. Because again, my theory is very simple. They'll give you money, or there's gonna probably be grants for being a developer on top of Zen. You won't have to do the Titan thing where you're praying to God, the contract pays you. That's actually pretty funny that the users fell for it now. That I think, that we think, because again, you could pay the developer by minting Zen. Like you don't need to know how to dev. The devs will take the Zen because they can find leverage. Right? It helps them build apps. Well, if you're a dev, you should be understanding this. You should be smart enough to find leverage from taking Zen from creating a dApp, right? And then you need to figure the leverage out. Like, are you going to put all the Zen in a liquidity pool that's burned, and then your leverage comes in from people buying up the coin that's associated with the burn and things like that? I mean, that's one of the most fairest. That's the fairest way to leverage the burn. But yeah, as a dev, you're going to have to figure that shit out. That's your own fucking demon. You're going to have to answer that one. That's why only a few will understand how to walk that path. Only a few. A lot will walk it and act like, I'm so innocent, I'm so honest. And then pew pew. Titan X. Pulse chain. Right? So that's we know that's going to happen. Yeah, so this weekend, I don't know, maybe we see a ride in Zen. Again, we got good positivity happening. Network is building. Skip rates getting better on X1 chain. They cutting people out that ain't popping up. If you want to make a node, I recommend you do it. Learn it, get used to it, get yourself up here. I think of this now, it's like a little social media board as well. They should put a little chat box on this or something. But yeah, again, I think UX is like what I do. UI, UX, that's my strong point. So I know this is ugly right now because that's just the way it is. Somebody here, Mad Hat X1.farm lows. Yeah, these fools are patiently waiting for X1 to launch. Because that's what I'm saying. You can create a business on top of this because they created a business on top of it. Like, yeah, they run X1, but they are creating the business of X1. So if you want to open up 5 nodes under a business LLC and become a node operator and really dig into the legal side of it and then start to write off hardware, write off expenses, or again, just be in the network, go to conferences, reach out to other people, build infrastructure, right? More products on top of just this tiny product of I run a node. It can go so many different ways, man. That's why I haven't been here. So I got to focus on that type of shit. None of this is financial advice, but I got to go focus on that shit. I got to get back my head in the dev world. I'll see you dudes on Mondays. Till then, peace. Hey.